What was that?
I can generally carry a room pretty decent. Okay.
Are they talking with the mic? Did you get on mic over close?
Wireless mic? Is it still flipped on the mic? Can you try to put it closer to the one they're talking into? Let me see. Oh.
No, I appreciate it. One of the batteries is there.
It's my trimmer. What a great thing.
Check, check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's loud. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for us to begin. First and foremost, welcome to the city of St. George. We will begin this press conference like we intend to begin every single meeting you will have in the city of St. George with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To follow the Pledge of Allegiance every day in the city of St. George, we will also say a prayer. A little word about this prayer. This prayer has sat on my desk for many years now, and it's given me a lot of comfort through a lot of the struggles and trials that we have encountered on this journey to get here today. It's something that I think embodies not only the entire process, but so many people that were part of this process for the last decade. This is a prayer that was attributed to St. Mother Teresa. So if you bear with me here, I'm going to read it. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. The prayer is called Do It Anyway. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Build it anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it'll never be enough. but give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. And Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. We've all prepared some short statements today. We also have some of our elected members of our area that are here with us today. Councilman Dwight Hudson, that's been a big, strong supporter from us. Councilwoman Lori Adams, right over here. I think I saw Representative Emily Chenevert from if I missed anybody else, I apologize, but we're very happy that you're here. You know, if we added up all the people that went to every one of our transition meetings for the last 2 years, it wouldn't equal the amount of people that are in the room today. So we're very excited. Very excited. So this journey towards incorporation has never been about division. It's rather been a testament to the resilience and unity of our community. Throughout this entire process, we have listened to the voices of our residents, honoring their aspirations and concerns alike. As we embark on this new chapter, we do so with a shared vision of unity and cooperation. We envision a community built on family and faith. We recognize that our strength lies in our diversity, and it's through dialogue and collaboration that we will build a bright future for generations to come for East Baton Rouge Parish. Thank you all for everybody that's here today, and I'll kick it back to Drew.
Now we'll hear from one of the petitioners for the incorporation of St. George, Vice Chairman Chris Riles.
Thank you all for being here. I'm overwhelmed with your presence and very pleased that so many of our supporters have chosen to take time out of your day to be here. Let me read my statement. The incorporators, we promised that after our victory on October 12, 2019, that we would defend your right to achieve the city of St. George in the courts. The legal fees that we've obtained has been in excess of $1.1 million. Those contributions have come from over 800 families and businesses that represent 1,700 individual contributions to this effort. I want to particularly notice our 3 large benefactors, Eddie Risponi, we're going to build a best-in-class, pace-setter community, a public-private partnership that you will be proud of. And future, not today, not tomorrow, eventually we will have our own independent school district. That's coming. After all, that's the we have to do, and then develop our school district. It's been more than 4.5 years of legal battles, and we've lost over $250 million in revenue to create our city. But let me also be clear, the future is bright. We need to move forward with where we are today, and we're going to create that city we promised to you. I want to also say that we're open to business. Anybody who felt left out of the boundaries, there's a lot of controversy about that. We're here to tell you today as incorporators, if you're contiguous with the city of St. George, you are welcome with open arms. We're open for business. My final comment is this. Only in America can we dream as big as we want to. The city of St. George pledged as of last Friday, where the stars and the stripes and the eagle will fly. The challenge that we lay ahead for us requires the expertise of seasoned veterans who've been through these things like this before and have been successful in business. And that includes many of you that are in this audience today. We look forward to your input. Now, as we move forward, we want to continue to welcome you to the bright future of the city of St. George.
Now we're going to hear from the man who started it all. He's been here the longest, but he gets to see today. The chairman of the incorporation effort, Norman Browning.
Well, thank you. Congratulations to us. You all did a phenomenal job. You stayed the course with us. We can't be more appreciative. We accomplished a great goal. April 26, 2024 is a historical day. We formed the 5th largest city in this state. It preserved the citizens' vote. And that was a culmination of a lot of work, a lot of tireless hours by volunteers. It was a grassroots effort from the beginning. And it was you who did it, each and every one of you. Think back to those days when you were knocking on doors to get signatures, standing on the corner, waving signs, waving flags. That was a lot of effort. But you did it. You stayed the course. That campaign brought you a better government. I want to thank the volunteers for all that effort, because without it, it would never happen. It was your unwavering support. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our legal team. My gosh, it was unsurpassed expertise, a lot of strategic maneuvering. Mainly, it was a job well done. Thank you all. We talked about the financial support. All of you stepped up. It was unbelievable. Every time we came and asked, you were there. My heartfelt thank you for that. So now, Mayor Broom.
President Broom. Correction, she's not our mayor.
We too want to unify East Baton Parish. So with this, we believe it's the start of building a vibrant and thriving parish. So I hold out my hand in fellowship in hopes that we can work forward to a smooth transition. So I guess now, as your chairman, I deserve the right to welcome you to the city of St. George. Thank you.
And now a council member whose entire district now encompasses the city of St. George. And for a long time, literally maybe our only supporter on the Metro Council is not L'Oreal. Mr. Dwight Hudson.
I want to first say how encouraging it is to see all of you here today. I'm looking at some folks out in the audience, like the Cooks, like the Legrands, the Dorans, others. There's so many of you to point out, but I can't do it. But there's so many of you who embarked on this journey with such selfless interest. For my wife and I, we actually got started in this process about 13 years ago, before we had kids, as we were starting to try to have kids. And we said, we know we want to live in an area with a great school district. And so let's join in this effort and let's get started. But since several of the folks that I mentioned, and many more of you have kids that have already graduated from that system, or you didn't have kids at all, maybe you were grandparents, and you never were going to have the chance to take part in the school system part of it. But you participated anyway. You went out there and stood for days and days on end, collected signatures, you walked the neighborhoods, you did the work. And so thank you to all of you for all the effort that you put in. I sat last night trying to think of an analogy or an example that I could use for what this effort has been and what it means. And I really thought about a bird. A bird, as it's coming out of that shell, it's a struggle, right? And I think that's what we've really participated in here, is a struggle with getting this new municipality started. But that process that the bird goes through, coming out of that shell, is a process. It's there for a reason. It helps develop muscles. It helps to build the strength that it needs to fly. I can tell you all, with this type of leadership in place with the transition district, with the support of all of you, the city of St. George is ready to fly, and we're ready to get to work. Thank y'all.
Well, it's been a hell of a journey, huh? 13 years. I'm a relative newcomer to this effort. I've only been here for 5 years. To Dwight's point, a lot of us have a reason for being involved in this effort, this movement, whether it was the creation of a better school, lowering crime, making the community safer, creating more opportunities, tired of seeing your friends and family leave to go to other parishes and other states. How many people here have kids who now live out of state somewhere? Wouldn't you like them to live closer to home? Yes. And now they'll have that opportunity. We looked at our neighbor in Central. We said, hey, can we do this better? And we looked at our neighbor in Central and said, well, apparently we can. And it's not even that far away. It's a better model of government. And have somebody accountable to you. No longer accountable to some people off in the city of Baton Rouge or somewhere else in the parish. No, they're going to be accountable to you, your neighbors, your friends, and your coworkers. So when you have your ideas, whether, again, you're against us or for us, bring them. Let's create a better city. Let's work together. Let's move past this. Because as Chris alluded to, we're not done. We're just getting started. And now you got a time to be there and be a part of it. I do want to thank the legal team. They have endured so much to get to this process. They've heard all this negativity all along the way in the press and from opposing counsel. They deserve recognition for their efforts to stay the course. But I'll take it a step further. Tristy Peck is here. Sherry Morris could not be here today, and Jim Bradford could not be here today. Mark and Marcus Plaisance were instrumental in writing one of the briefs, and also Robert Ainsworth from my office. Truly an amazing team. They worked together. We developed 2 different briefs on 2 different grounds, and we went to the Supreme Court. We took on the aristocracy of this parish who does not want it to change. They're going to fight you tooth and nail to keep the status quo. And we won. And that is a testament to you. Thank you. So we will take questions in a minute, but I'll go ahead and field one of my own. What's next? So we've celebrated. Today is the end of that celebration. We're going to work. Everyone in this room, if you're here, you support St. George. We're again, like I said, if you're against St. George, let's go to work. We have a St. George Transition District. We're going to create the best amount of services, the most efficient services, for the best amount of money. We're creating a world-class city. When you enter the city of St. George, you will know you are somewhere special immediately. And we're going to work together to do that. So the Transition District is going to work. Soon, hopefully Governor Landry will appoint a mayor and city council. It will also go to work creating those ordinances, the zoning, the planning, and the permitting, addressing some of the concerns we've had a long time about how government functions and how it needs to function. So we're going to work, and we want you to be a part of that process. So reach out, attend our meetings, give us ideas, send us emails, give us phone calls. Don't stop holding us accountable. For 13 years, we have made promises that we're going to create a better government for you. Hold us accountable. Keep those promises. And should anyone ever stray from that, hold us accountable. You deserve better, and you worked for it, and now you're getting better. Welcome to the city of St. George. All right, news media, go. Ask you know what? You forget that. News media doesn't like us. Does anyone in the room have questions about St. George moving forward? Way in the back.
I just got a quick question about the annexations of people that annexed the city of Baton Rouge after the vote, like Women's Hospital, they tax revenue generator of 225 acres. I believe they annexed in 2021 the city of Baton Rouge, and they wrong. What happens with the property owners that annexed after the vote? Are they going to have to come back to the city of St. George? Two-part
long answer. One, subject to litigation currently.
Yes.
Simple as that. Number 2, I would say if you thought you wanted to be in Baton Rouge, you may want to rethink that decision. you have the opportunity to stay in St. George. I would seriously consider that if I were a business or a homeowner. Well, first of all, our taxes are lower. I mean, that's the property tax bill. I can read that. Second, you have an opportunity to create a city. If you're happy with what you're getting in Baton Rouge, then by all means, I guess that's for you. But you've got an opportunity to create St. George a city that's accountable to you. Why would you want to leave that? So if you're thinking about coming back, I would suggest you talk to your lawyer in that lawsuit and ask them to withdraw. Yes, sir.
Are we going to try and go after the 2% of the billions of dollars of tax money that has been tied up in the courts for 4.5 years that that Rouge has spent? We're going to try to get it back?
Well, I'll tell you, everything's on the table. Right? I mean, that's the easiest answer I can give you without going into further details, but everything's on the table at this point. Yes, if our lawful election was not overturned and it wasn't challenged for any reason other than they wanted to tie us up for several years, I would say everything's on the table. Mr. Dorian.
For our contiguous neighbors in the unincorporated areas, is there a time frame set up for when they can start contemplating annexation in St. George?
Well, I should say they should always contemplate it. They should do their research on their own and come to the conclusion of where they want to be. If that does ultimately be determined to be the city of St. George, I would suggest, as time goes by and our city council's appointed and our transition districts moving forward, there will be a process outlined at some point in the future to allow that to happen as we're moving forward as a city. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
My question is about the school district.
Yes.
I have young kids who have already started in schools. I'm not talking about future generation, I'm talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of chaos in my mind, not knowing what their academic future is going to look like in St. George. We have a lot of theories, but I have planned. My kids are in Blue Ribbon magnet schools right now. And I love their academic trajectory. They've made great classmates and friends since kindergarten. And to be suddenly ripped from this, it really scares me. I'm not an enemy of anybody. I'm a transplant to the city.
I got you.
So I don't understand a lot of this, but I'm concerned for my kids' academic future in the right now.
Okay.
Right? I understand you're trying to form a new district and it's going to be better, but right now, what does that mean for me? Because there's nothing equivalent in any map that you would draw right now if we don't have access to those magnets.
Let's go to that last comment. Say it one more time. There's not an equivalent level of school in the map in the St. George area?
Right now, at this
Huh.
point, that's equivalent to the magnet school.
Huh. Isn't that a problem? Why isn't there an equivalent school in the St. George? I agree. No, I agree. But now you're getting back to the onus of the school. Number one, we created a city. We have not created a school district. They are two distinct, separate animals. They have separate budgets, separate leadership structures. But I would be dishonest if I didn't tell you what's next on the agenda would be the creation of the St. George School District, which is long overdue in a parish that is near dead last, in a state that is near dead last in the country in education. My concern is for all the children to have a quality opportunity for education, and that's the onus of why we started this effort. Moving forward, it takes a long time to create a school district. It's not created overnight. So I can't give you a time frame, and I can't give you a process. I can only tell you at this point, it's definitely on our radar. It's definitely something we're thinking about. But today is about a process of starting the city. It did not create a school district today. Your child's not going anywhere today. But I will say, as someone who's gone to public schools his entire life, I don't know why kids can't all go to school together. I have a huge problem with that. You know, I went to school with all kinds of kids at all different academic levels, all different ethnicities, all different backgrounds, and we were all able to get a quality education without having to go across town to go get it. And so for me, that's a personal issue. But as far as the group goes, school system would be on our radar, but I mean, we're talking a few years as far as from zero to accomplishment.
Drew, can I add something?
Yes, absolutely.
There's a false narrative in the media that says the Southeast Baton Rouge Community School District is going to immediately be approved. That is not true. That only incorporates about half of the city of St. George. Why would we want to push a new school district when it only includes half of our citizens? So that old school district, as far as we're concerned, is dead. There's no one trying to push that school district. And as Drew just articulated, it's gonna take time. What are the boundaries? That has to be decided. All of that takes time. But as he said, this group is focused right now on doing the city, and so we don't have time to start working on a new school district. That will be coming in the future. What it looks like, we don't know, but there are a lot of moms who are concerned about my children today, tomorrow, in the fall, maybe going to a different school. Let me dissuade you and dissuade the public. Let's just stop that narrative, right? That's not going to happen. Does that help?
Yeah, because it's a lot to take in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir, Pastor.
Do we anticipate when the governor might make his appointment for various positions?
Pastor, I am not going to answer for the governor. No, it's his purview. It's his will and pleasure. He can appoint those interim mayor and city council at his convenience. I mean, he's got a lot going on right now, but we would hope, ideally, for us to move forward sooner than later. Yes, ma'am.
The Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court, in his dissent,
No one reads dissents. I kid. Go ahead.
I read it in its entirety.
Excellent.
That the current plan to provide services does not meet the requirement, in his opinion. When will the taxpayers of St. George see the detailed city plan explaining what services will be provided? Because I've heard the ancillary answers, oh, we're gonna provide what we can afford, and I've seen the projected revenue of $48 million, and commissioner cities in this state have budgets of $100 million more.
Goodness.
So I'm trying to do the math.
All right.
Monroe, Louisiana.
Let me stretch. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and stretch, boo. Monroe, Louisiana is going to be smaller than us.
This isn't a question. This is testimony. Let me help you.
No, I'm asking.
I'm telling you, because I've told you for years now.
Monroe has $140 million of revenue, and everyone around here is bragging about $48 million. Monroe is smaller than us. Let me finish. They have infrastructure already. How are we going to build a city, as you say, with $48 million of revenue? Monroe's sales tax revenue is $9.1 million, and so we're banking on $48 million of revenue, and that means to me that the property, because I lived in Sandy Springs, like in Georgia, and I was there when they built that city, and I saw the reasons for why they built that city. So I have a very vested interest. My daughter is also in the Blue Ribbon School, and I do not want her to be forced to move outside of my interest. I moved here after the vote was done. I was not a resident of St. George at that time. I bought my home here not knowing anything about this. So there are a lot of people who are just like me. I've been talking to them on the phone since Friday, and we want to know what is going to be done when we're forming this city, and we want to know how we're going to take $48 million and build this signature city when other cities of this size have budgets way bigger than that.
Okay.
And we want to know if the property taxpayers are going to bear the brunt of that.
Okay, first and foremost, welcome to the city of St. George. And because you're in the city of St. George, you have a vested interest now in how we move forward, which means we invite you to participate.
I'll be there.
Absolutely. And I want your ideas and I want your contributions. It sounds like you got one. You got some contributions to make. So we're welcoming that. Number two, what you're missing is our property tax revenue plus that sales tax revenue is what generates the budget and provides the services for the city of St. George. That number is estimated around $130 million.
Okay, we haven't seen that number.
You have. It's on the budget. It's on our website. It's on the information we put out there. And it's also conveniently located in the majority opinion, which said we had ample money to provide the services. Now, what would also be horrifying to you is to realize what has been paying for the services in St. George up till now. What revenue have they been using in Baton Rouge to provide our services? They haven't been using $48.3 million. They've been using less than that, according to the majority opinion of the court. So we intend on providing that world-class city, and our budget indicates we can do that and run a surplus. We can improve services and run more efficiently. Something also noted in the majority opinion was, even if you use their numbers, we still run at a surplus now. Even using the opposition's numbers and their testimony and their witnesses and their evidence, we're still running at a surplus. And then the opinion went a step further. And it said, that's using Baton Rouge's math and Baton Rouge's expenses. That doesn't include the idea that you could run it more efficiently, You can provide better services more efficiently with the public-private partnership. Our number is far dramatically less expense-wise because we feel like, and this is true, also in the majority opinion, that our tax dollars have been taken for years and used to subsidize the city of Baton Rouge for services we do not get and do not enjoy. So in theory, if Baton Rouge has taken our money to use it and we're getting the services we get now, that means we subsidize Baton Rouge, not the other way around.
But that's also where most of the people in this room work. So
Well,
it's not.
that's the reason it's going to make the parish better.
It's not going into a black hole. It's going to where most of the people here work.
Well, this is the reason why we're going to make the parish better. Without us, more people will continue to leave the parish, as has been happening now for quite a while. Chris Riles quote, they've been voting with their feet for a long time by leaving. This is why Ascension Parish and Livingston Parish are thriving, because everybody's leaving for better opportunities. If we're successful, as we promised, or we said we will be, those people don't have to leave anymore. They can come back. And when they come back, they live here. Their sales tax dollars stay here. Their businesses are located here. And for example, my office is in the city of Baton Rouge. So guess what? Me living here means I get to pay taxes to the parish. I contribute. I eat in Baton Rouge. I go to events in Baton Rouge. This is a reciprocal benefit that St. George gives the entire community. How do I know it works? Central. How is Central doing? 4 times the budget. They're increasing revenue for the entire parish. Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I have 2 questions kind of related. One, some of your previous documents indicated that 91% of your budget was dependent on sales tax revenue. Is that still the case? And the second question is, the boundaries actually don't, the proposed city don't end with Shenandoah. It actually goes up the Neat River and connects with Central. Is there a plan to consolidate the city of Central and the city of St. George at some time in the near future? If not, why does the boundary pyramid?
Second question first.
Can you summarize the question? We couldn't hear it.
Oh, okay. So I'll start with the second question. You're asking about, are we going to consolidate with Central? And I would ask, what define consolidation? Are you talking about in the future where we could maybe go into a cooperative endeavor agreement for some services? Or are you thinking we're going to combine into one massive city of success?
Let me rephrase. Why does the boundary on the north end of the city of St. George go up this Neat River? And also, did your original documents that indicated that 91% of your budget was dependent upon sales tax?
Well, I was starting with the second question so I can repeat it to everyone else. So you're asking about the little tail that goes up and touches Central and Amy River. 1, Amy River, lovely water body. 2, I do want to touch the city of Central. What if there's a future where we can cooperate and work together on providing some services? It gives you the option. And why wouldn't you have more options than less options?
Okay.
Is that
your original budget documents
okay?
That indicated 91% of your budget was dependent upon sales tax revenue. Is that still the estimated budget?
Okay, so the first question that we're now getting to is, our budget says 91% of our revenue is generated by sales tax revenue only. Is that correct? Chris?
Yes, so let's be clear on the budget for the city of St. George. There's a lot made relative to comparisons to other cities. Some cities holistically have school districts. You do not. Some districts don't have county or parish-wide activities. We do. So how much in the way of taxes is being paid by the residents of the city of St. George? In 2002, $106 million were paid by residents of property taxes that goes to the parish. The parish then provides that services to everyone in the parish, such as EMS, such as the tax assessor, such as the libraries, all of the council on aging. We participate in that. And I would tell you that we over-participate, is that we pay more money in the parish-wide than we receive in services. And we're fine with that. So when you're comparing us to other cities, take that $50 million, add 103, and you have 100, and what that number is, $156 million. So that's the total amount of taxes that are paid by the residents of St. George. So relative to the 2-cent sales tax, to your question, the 91%, so what's left is the 2-cent sales tax that the transition district said will be remanded back to the city of St. George. Out of that revenue, we will provide the incremental services that are not funded and are not provided by the city parish. So it's in that arena, whenever you strip back and you look at the services that we are going to provide, that's where we've noticed in our budget that a large percentage of our dollars, as Drew said, goes to pay for the Baton Rouge Fire Department, the Baton Rouge Fire Department pension, the Baton Rouge Police Department, the Baton Rouge Police Department pension. We got no services for that.